And we are live. Cool. Fantastic. Good evening, everybody. 8 p.m. Central European Time. Welcome to the first vvvv meetup, worldwide meetup of the year 2022. Happy New Year. And the 16th vvvv meetup of the series of the online worldwide meetups. We started this this format, like the online format, after the first wave of the pandemic and with the first lockdown. We started to have the meetups instead of having them physical in the Node Institute. We decided to have them online, which has a lot of advantages because more people can join, which is fantastic. We can see a lot of people joining, showing the project, just popping in, and that is actually one of the benefits. So this evening, I have the pleasure to host this very meetup. As the last 2 or 3 meetups, we have the same format. We don't have a lineup. We don't have a schedule or a list of the artists, programmers, coders, nerds, creators who are going to show things to us. So feel free to join the call. If you want to find the link to the Zoom call, you can see it in the blog post, and the blog post is in the Element chat, in vvvv chat. And also you can basically just simply watch on YouTube, on vvvv TV, or I think also on the Node Institute YouTube channel. As always, the setup is similar as the last 15th sessions that we had. I'm waiting still at the moment to see who is joining. For now, we have Sia, we have Daniel Huber. It's a pleasure to have you here, Daniel. He's going to show us some crazier stuff that they do at the Bada Boom Berlin. He will tell us more about it a bit later. And I will ask him to introduce himself for a few small sentences. But until then, I just want to invite you once more to join the call. Do not forget, if you're joining the Zoom call, in order to know who you are and you are an actual human being, not a bot, please use your name plus vvvv, or just simply use your vvvv forum name, or some name that we know who you are, so we can let you in the call. And maybe until then, now it would be a good time. I'm waiting for some other people, but until then, I asked Daniel that hi, who you are, if you want to say a few words, and what did you bring us?
Hi, it's Daniel, known also in the forum as Sia. I'm here as Bada Boom Berlin, and this I will show you or explain you at the beginning when I talk about our new work, Fantastic Mobility. Nice that I'm here because it's the first time. Tuesday is not the day I can normally at the evening, and I only see the records. So there will also be a record when I see my performance. Nice to be here, Amir.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you here. And right now I saw that Alvaro is also here. And Jurek just joined the call as well. Also, we have David as well in the call. Alvaro, do you hear us?
Yes. Do you hear me? Maybe.
Yes. Hello, man. Good to see you.
Yeah. Maybe I look a little too dark. I will put some more light, okay? Because
yeah, sure. Yeah, take your time.
How are you doing?
How's it going?
It's going good. You know, I was coming to show you a little work in progress about LED, digital LED, controlling with fuse intersections. So we will see like kind of volumetric LED controller.
Okay, that is good. So we have already in the list, we have Sia and we have Alvaro. Jurek, do you hear us? Are you here? Are you going to show something, or you're
I am here. But,
hello, Jurek.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to watch and listen, and maybe ask a question if I come up with one, but nothing to show, unfortunately.
Okay, good to have you here. Maybe you can just be here, vibe with us, and that is fantastic. And I see, maybe I would just give it like, I see, yeah. Well, that's gonna happen more often. maybe we should wait until anybody else is joining, or we could just yeah, maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea to ask Daniel, because we know that Daniel has some other duties in parallel as well. So maybe it would be good that we just make sure that he has comfortably his time. That would be good. So if you're okay and if you're ready, Daniel, we can just start right off with you and just share your screen and show us what Badaboom does.
Thanks a lot. Yes, I start now. Yeah, sharing my screen. Okay, hi. Yeah, first I show you Badaboom. It's not only me, it's also Alessandro. And to understand Badaboom, Alessandro is our analog guy. Me, I'm the digital guy. So the whole concept or idea in the studio is always we have analog creation. So all the installations, the tools, the things we made analog, and then we put it in a digital context. But we also want to open the whole thing, so that we use the digital world model, the co-creation process for people who come can then that the art piece or the installation always changes. So we make also a workshop to develop with kids, grown-up teenagers stuff. So here, for example, in Bauhaus Museum, the kids made a scenery where people then can interact, and also at this place develop new figures. But then so the whole piece is always in development. Yeah, also then everything is hands-on. So for us, Corona was also a little bit difficult, but we did a piece, and this I want to show now. So our piece, then I go with hopefully not starting. I just let a video run. It's 1 minute, and hopefully you see the whole screen. So this is fantastic mobility. You have the puzzle pieces. You can. This is a thing called garage. You put it on the table, and then you create the vehicles or mobility of the future. So the combinations are endless, or a lot, I can say. And it's playful, and you get also different data. So every creation has his own values and influence in the scenery, also others. So it's a kind of collection of data. But it's very rudimentary. It's not this whole serious scientific thing. It's more to get this, that people get understanding or connected, that in play how they can also think about mobility, or also that they influence with their decision other things. So it's not this high sophisticated thing, but this is never what we want to do at Badaboom. Our goal is this try, play, and then discover always in your play some new or get inspired. So then let's go first to the garage, we call it. So you have your piece. So it's here you see it's lasered. So for example, down here's this is gray, and these are white pieces. So that means a corpus, and then add-ons. The add-ons will always snap to the corpus, and with the corpus you can freely shift and build your style in design. And you also see here that when you press one button, there is only one button in the whole thing. Then it's in the installation, and if you see it then running, here it runs on the pipe. On the rail, it's running here, and then it's running. It happens immediately. And yes, to mention it, the whole thing is Gamma. And for example, there is we give them different names and definitions how fast they can drive. And also you see, I go now to and it's changing the languages between English and German in automatically. So you say, then the values are, for example, now here we have a thing, I have a lot of space savings. Well, it's because it's small, it doesn't take so much place like a bus, but it can also, it's like the robot can also carry some stuff. The sustainability is high and the air pollution, and it drives, but it's very slow. And you see the rad, the name is Libro Buelo Rad. It's also a generative name, Lible, Lib, Rad. So you see, it's very funny. And here, for example, a lot of pollution because you have a rocket and a turbine car and it's on street. So when you send this thing, you lose capacity and space in the city and you get a lot of pollution. So this is the whole, you see also this craziness and the stuff. And now I come more into why we want always to open our system. So you see here, for example, we have 64 videos. It's now a hub codec, but there are 64 little snippets which can changed by everyone. And we also have a manual for it that you can also then define how, where in Illustrator, because this is a SVG file, how to where the things should be snapped. So now you have a submarine, and in this submarine, you see here the things can snap, and then you snap a balloon, and this snaps here. So you can then define with this set on your own how to, and now I show you how this works. For example, you take the submarine and a libelle, the flies of a libelle, and then the strand-based, and then it's walking. And in the back, you see everything is working with Ruko. And down on this side, you see here's the Aruko from the libelle, and the red other dot is the Aruko from the strand-based. And then it can snap by nearest. So it's not big magic. It's just a little bit gamma where then the different parts snap. And for the value, we just use Excel sheet where you can define. So this piece with this Aruko has this street value, rain value, sky value, water, because it can be on 4 lines in the scenery. It flows in the water, it flows in the sky, or it is on the ray. And then how much pollution. The idea behind this whole thing is to work like containers that we can do in workshops with others, with people, grown-ups or children, define new elements and new cars and new movies. So I go now in the concept of I'll show you. Now the state we chose laser cutter because also in the whole set. Oh, sorry, I mentioned. Sorry, it's all in the museum Futurium in Berlin, and they have in the ground floor they have a laboratory where they make also workshops. They even have a big laser cutter there where they even teach how to use it, and all the things also on this cutter. So you can design your stuff, put it there, and they can cut it also with new pieces and so define new stuff. And like stick, these are what the whole installation has, 64 Arukos, and so you can take these containers. So the process is always we try. Now we choose the vector-based one because it was the most liked from all. We make some visitor checks, but we also did when we changed the container, we have drawn ones so that how does it look when the whole thing is drawn? Then how does it sit when these are paper cuts? So how does when you have a paper cut submarine or a paper cut fly? Then these are more this crazy car drawing stuff. And yes, so now also because of this process, we did a lot of actually the analog guy goes crazy by trying out stuff, and we then also for workshops we can change the buildings if we want to make photogrammetry, but it's all open. We don't really know if we wanted to do, but with Gamma or with before you have the possibility to set the whole thing like a framework and then just change the files you put in, and it will be present the whole stuff in another way. So you can also use the 3D stuff and change it because it's on display. Then it's a new building there. So also he got crazy with paper cuts. I'm very impressed always of this stuff because it's a lot of work. It's easier to do it in at the computer for me, but I like. And This is also, it's the strand based. This is a process how Badaboom makes animation of a strand based. So it's more or less a little bit more building the stuff than going to normal motion design thing. But yeah, and the analog part, so like a cloud designing, so it's all then in a kata, and here it is. So one of our, so now that the setup is more here, our drawn pieces and the digital counterpart. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, and the thing is the installation itself. So what I explained now, that stands in the museum in the ground floor. The people who pass by, they can just choose it for some seconds, or like these kids, they took it nearby an hour. They were there all the time because it has more steps to discover. Sometimes you just put some things together and you see, I step in, okay, then I go. But then you see, when I put this together, then this happens. When I put I want to put as many pieces as I want. I put less pieces. I want to have this value the highest, this value the lowest. Yeah, this is also, it worked out. And this is also the thing we wanted to reach, so that you get more questioning this process, designing, prototyping. So what is prototyping? What is testing? What is simulation? It's not the direct, this is it, but it's a kind of prototyping and simulation. And we won't be Badaboom if we don't break this up, because what if we throw the garage away? So the thing, this is the normal setup for museum. We say, okay, we can also do this whole thing as a workshop, or with more craziness, what the people can do. So we have 4, like here's the main scenery, like we have in the museum. And here is 1, 2, 3, 4, we call it stop motion machines. So you had and you can make your own little animations. So you build your own cars. So we give some templates, inspirations, but you can also draw your stuff on your own. And then we show a little bit the concept of stop motion, make a photo, then, but I'm still here, or my internet connection has a problem.
Yes,
okay,
we are listening, we are hearing you, Daniel, go on.
Okay, go on. Yeah, for example, this boy finished a person hanging on a balloon, and there is another person in it. And then when they are finished, so for example, I'm monitoring here all the creations of the other of all the visitors. And here you see, for example, there is a rocket and a caterpillar riding the crazy rocket. It's the lila violet machine. And when you press now, so you see it's all more custom. So it's now converting into DDS, going to the folder, and now it's reading. So you see there is the caterpillar, the craziness with riding the rocket to the weird scenery. So you can also combine this thing into workshop and open. And so we like our most beloved of the outcoming part, because here they are more open. Like the other one is also a good transfer of what is prototyping, but here it's endless of possibilities, and there are a lot of possibilities. Always what we love, that people go crazy with our stuff. So hopefully, yes, I was a little bit long, it was a little bit much, but hopefully you get the topic, the spirit, and the installation of Badaboom, and fantastic mobility. Also thanks to Futurium Lab, they're great. If someone of them is listening.
Wow, Daniel, that was great. Okay, that was too much information. I need to maybe perhaps just put them in a line. But before that, I would like to read some comments and say Happy New Year to Gegenlich. Hi, Benju, Happy New Year to you too. David, same for you. Sebastiano is sending, I guess, hearts to you, Daniel. And also, ReadMe is asking. ReadMe is saying, very well done, Daniel. Looks like it's a lot of fun for children, I'm sure. I mean, even for adults. I mean, if I consider to be adult, I guess I'm going to spend, I don't know, like 2 days in front of the stop motion machines and all of those things. I'm sure it is a lot of fun, definitely. Good evening, Seveskuri. And Benju is sending a sparks to you. And also, ReadMe, Johannes is asking that in 2022, a really well customizable headless CMS is still a high demand. Any takers? I guess that I leave that up to the takers after after my basically a wrap up of this all information that you gave Daniel. So if I understood it correct, you have this fantastic mobility garage, as I know it correct, and you have some parts that they can be attached together to create a creature or like a, let's say, a fantastic mobility device, right? Manually.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then children can do that. Like they attach like a puzzle, they can put them together, and then they put this, and they have it as a, I don't know, like a vehicle that it will have afterwards some properties, like how fast is it, how much space does it have, like they have these properties, and then afterwards you have an object with all of those, and then you add them to this crazy world that they are running around, right?
Yeah, it's becoming
Okay.
a kind of crazy collectivity mobility world. So all mobility vehicles are done by other visitors, and they influence the other visitors, and so it's
That is cool. And is there like I'm guessing that there are a lot of different worlds now existing, like with a lot of people that are trying to make different vehicles in different buildings and different structures, right? Do you record them? Do you save them?
no. You can only build the vehicles. So with the idea of this, what I tried to explain with this idea of container, that you can easily changing the design of the vehicles and the values of the vehicles. Also the building itself, we wanted to do this in workshops, as I shown you at the end, that it's easy to throw away the idea of to put it together with the Arucos and the laser cutted pieces, that you can also use stop motion videos for the whole scenery, and you can also change the whole scenery. So to have this collective mobility world, you can have different inputs of creation.
Interesting. Interesting.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
Daniel, I'm completely blown away by this. I mean, this is such a complex application, if I understand it correctly. Is it even two different applications that are communicating?
I show you something. Wait, I wanted to show this, but not. So here, oh no, go back. I have it. This thing, it's one PC. This thing is the garage, and the whole. So there is the texture loader. Here are the inputs. So my file, my blah blah. But the bridge is an XML file. So the whole thing saved in the end all proper. I have to say. I did this whole thing like I did in beta. There is I'm so used to beta that it's amazing to work this in Gamma, and I think also some principles I did in Gamma, but the possibilities and I think how you really would do, how a recoder would do, it's a little bit different. I solved it like.
I like what you said. It's not magic. It's just a little Gamma. That's a quote I would like to use.
Yes, and I was most impressed about this instancing. So when you have one file, you can have thousands thousands animations running through this whole world. Even what we are showing in when this whole animations when you so this all is real time and it's 60 frames. When there is just when you have one thing who's playback and you have the whole thing, but it becomes more complex if you have more transformations that I learned. But I was impressed that this is possible because also I'm not so.
Unfortunately,
it's more easy now for me than to do it in beta. Such things of that. And I also have to say yes, I learned it by doing this whole stuff, but I come from the design side, so I not coder. But with vvvv, I became since 10 years more or less a coder, but I'm so used to beta.
But so I understand it is running from two different PCs, and the
PCs. No, one. It's one PC.
Okay, it's one PC. The whole patch we saw is just that's it.
This is the whole patch. This is the whole patch. There is the red sign is the all what's happening on the monitor garage and the output tracking and the arrangements of the transformations, how to build one vehicle. Then I saved the transformations and the values and which index it has into there's a new car coming, so to say, in the XML. And in the end, the scenery down here, it instancing all the stuff and shows it on the drive or path, how they can fly, and also implemented here the 3D thing. I also have to say we tried a lot. The workflow, it was at the beginning so that we used the Stride Studio for always on the fly changing stuff, but it's easier just to do the mesh, because we with, how can I say, when Ale and textures and stuff, you become a little bit crazy in Stride Studio. And the workflow is really easy working. So it's on the fly, you do something in Stride, and then it's on the other computer extreme. But because we had two different computers to work on, but it was easier than in the end just to make models, textures, and then throw it in. So this the print. Sorry.
For my understanding, it's one PC, and it's two screens, and it's one full screen, or are you going?
It's two screens, two full screen. Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's not in you're rendering it in two different windows.
Yeah. Look at this, for example. Yeah, it's two scenes. Yeah. It's two different windows. Two scene windows.
Okay.
Here, look at this. It's all process nodes. All process nodes. I have one operation I find in a helping patch, and I used it, but the whole thing is processing. So this is really like,
that's not bad.
I'm on beta world completely, man. I try. I will next time when I present something. There should be more R's, hopefully, and C's. But I'm still not understanding the concept.
No pressure there. No, it's really a very multifaceted project. You have the tracking with the Aruco, you have the snapping thing, you have all the definition of which parts would go together and where, no? And yeah, I found it a really complex project. I mean, from someone who is not a programmer.
Yeah, but you also know that we did also together more complex thing, but I was never the coder. I just use the beta thing and the gamma thing do sometimes what I want, and I don't understand behind what's happening. Now I can watch through what it's doing, but I still don't really get it. It just works.
Yeah, and what works counts in the end.
And what's also fascinating, it's really Excel. So there is running, I compile the whole thing, and they have now Excel with the whole data, and yeah, it really can. But the most helpful thing with Excel I learned is communicating with clients with smaller projects, where you give them the stuff and say, try it on your computer. Wow, 10 years I have to wait for this. This was, yes. Okay, so this
amazing
is
stuff. Thanks for showing this. Really inspirational.
Thanks for the flowers.
Fantastic. Yeah, Daniel, I have one question. You said that it's in the Futurium in Berlin. Is there a link to some of the outcomes, or like if there is any event, or if somebody wants to know more about this project, where can they read that? Or like, because also the videos that you showed, we didn't see them in a very good resolution. Maybe that would be also good to drop the link.
So we are always news on our Bada Boom thing, but I think it's easier. Instagram. You can also click here on the thing on Instagram. Now is the screen there. So, and yes.
Great.
Yeah, we often announce also when we have a workshop, because now with Corona, we stopped also here. You see that we announced often what happens with here also that a workshop is coming and where we are working now. Also amazing Ale with his theater pieces. There's also new performances in the next year coming in with some magic with Gamma and some more magic, I think, of Ale. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, always feel I never made now. I'm on Instagram, and now when I make follow us on Instagram, and you get some news.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, follow us, follow them, not us. Follow them, Badaboom Berlin. I just joined your team. Follow
Great.
them on Badaboom Berlin, and you get another, Daniel, you get another heart from Ari. Very well deserved. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. I'm looking very much forward. Perhaps next time, instead of those kids, you should get rid of me in front of your garage and your beautiful installation there. Thank you very much for sharing.
Now I have to say ciao because I have to take my kid away from the other screen, but the screen saved me now to present here.
Thank you. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks. I come back quietly later.
Yeah. Thank you. Cool.
Thank you.
Wow. Crazy stuff. Okay. I would like to move on and ask Alvaro, but before that, I would like to say next time you download vvvv on visualprogramming.net, when you download that, the first thing that you do is, it's just like, I have these things like health, how is it called? Like instead of commercials, they say things that is good for you. It's like whenever you download a new version, don't forget to open the help browser and check the examples, because they are changing sometimes. The things will be added to them. There are more examples. There are more interesting things. Like very recently, I saw that there is a split camera thing, if I remember the name of the help patch correct. So basically you have one camera that you can see one object from different sides. Like if you work, for example, with Blender, do you remember that you do this like Alt and Control Q that it shows you the 4 quad screen, that you have all of those things? I did not know that they exist. And I was surprised. Oh, look at that. That is interestingly new. And so every time and then afterwards I learned, every time when there's a new version, it's possible that there are new examples, new things to learn. And of course, check out the Greybook, because there is also content in the Greybook that they are very, very helpful. And one last tip is, there is a tab in the help browser. It's called shortcuts, and then by going just through them, and I realized that, for example, there are a lot of things that I could do and I did not know that they are possible to do, but I just saw them in the shortcut category. I just wanted to share this piece of perhaps interpolation information until we ask Alvaro to share his screen and show us what is he up to. Alvaro, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I'm here. Let me introduce you one new user of vvvv. The username is Isualo.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome.
Yes, we are going first to, I'm going to share my screen. We are going to that he did not so long time ago with some of my help. It was in Dubai, and it was for a bicycle system that gets data from everyone that's in the right bicycle, okay? And then you get this data in real time reproduced. So let's see the video. I hope it loads completely. You have an idea. So the video is not going because my connection, but did you show anything?
Alvaro, I think it would be good if you send the link to the Vimeo. If I'm not mistaken, it's Vimeo, right? Would that be possible to drop the link in on the chat, or maybe even in the chats to the YouTube comments?
It's not playing good, no?
Not to my end. I don't know if it is playing smooth on the others.
No, I also don't see it.
Okay, no. I think it's my connection. So the chat, yeah, for a moment. Sorry for the thing, but you should take a look, because it's like a project that uses vvvv data of the vehicles via HTTP. And we create like a kind of communication, and Israel was first project, so with vvvv. So take a look. It's in actually, I will draw in element chat, okay, too. And you will see it, okay. Wait a moment. So if we move on, I will you will take a look to the video afterwards, okay? I would like to do it because it's a nice work that we did. And I'm going to introduce our project that we are working on, that it belongs to digital bars, digital bars like SPI, driven with vvvv.
Alvaro, sorry for interrupting you. Maybe while you are presenting and you have your screen shared with us, maybe you can switch off your camera. I don't know if it doesn't even make any sense, because you're a little bit breaking up and your connection is not the best. Maybe
I'm sorry. Maybe if it's not working good, I prefer to don't say. If camera is going good, I will continue. If not, I prefer to don't, you know. So let's move on and check if it's okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So if you hear me good now?
Yeah, that is good.
Okay, right. So I wanted to introduce you to another project that we are working on. And it's about to drive LED bars, you know, digital bars. You don't get me, no?
Yeah, I do hear you.
Oh, sorry, man. I think you don't hear me. Okay, so it's about SPI LEDs, okay? With Fuse, we have created like a volumetric control to create content in LED digital bars, okay? So in this case, we have here like all the content that we create, we have like kind of video that will show like the control. ¿Se verá bien? Okay. You see you see it good?
It's not the best connection, but yeah, I see there are some things happening in the screen. I see that the
Oh, shit, man, you know, I'm so sorry about that.
No, don't worry.
Because it's like
I do hear you very well, but sometimes the content is not the.
I must be sorry about that. So the thing is like if you see something good, I will continue. So the thing is like we have some SDF content like boxes and other content that we can create here in SDF, okay? Like we have you know, and you can create like other kinds of content. And all these intersections you see here, these are intersections that belongs to each part of the LED, okay? So creating SDF intersections, we take like all these and we make like a volume render of each of the sections of the object, okay? We have an SDF. So they reflect in the LED content, okay?
Yeah.
And how to use Fuse in these things, because it's very how to say, you can mix all the content. You can just mix SDF in the way you want, and you can get very interesting results. Like for example, if you just use this thing, you know, here, and here. Okay, so here we have like just a grid of planes in Fuse. And we will have like the same presentation like in dev space. So we can rotate it the way we want, and we will have some kind of 3D effect, you know. belonging to the LEDs. So it's all this goes out by internet, like in 10 universe. And we have like mapping control to create the remap between the pipette that gets all this info. You know, at the end is like a texture that splits the 8 depths of the object, and take all the dead objects and then process it into a pipette. And so then we have this sense of 3D, you know, in LED installations. I think it was interesting to show how to use views in other scenarios and other, you know.
That is interesting. And then how do you control? So if I get it right, Alvaro, is like basically you are creating this SDF volumes, and then you manipulate their shape through some inputs, and then afterwards you get the intersection of those volumetric shapes that you created, the SDFs, with this grid, and then you just pick the intersection and apply them to a color. Basically like a LED light, right? And how does the communication work, like with the LED lights and your V4 patch?
Yeah, it works with ArtNet, you know. I mean, we create a remap node. So all the design, I mean, in this visualization, as you see, I mean, there are all instances of boxes in Stripe, and they are like spread in the same order than the universe. They cable the LED bars. Okay, the people give us a pixel map of the LED bars, and we position all the instances in the same place. We replicate the spread, and then we spread it like via 10 universe. We spread all the universe, taking all the channels that we need, and that's all. But it's interesting about intersection. I did one pass like that in beta.
Yeah.
It uses like the instance noodles SDF volume texture, and it was the same but in another way. So it's like volume renderer but more handmade, you know? So as you mix SDF textures, it's the same, you know, you get the same thing.
Cool.
Okay, that was what I wanted to show you.
That is nice. And then if I remember that correctly, the video that you showed on the Vimeo link,
yes,
that maybe at some point you drop it, there were different stations, or it was only one. There were like different stations with light, or it was only one.
No, they were like, how many stations they were? How many stations? There were bicycles. How many bicycles?
20 bicycles.
20 bicycles.
Wow.
There were like 20 bicycles. Yeah. It was by the delay. I mean, you always have like kind of a delay answer between the bicycles, but it was working super good with HTTP in Gamma.
That is nice. That is nice.
Yes.
That is great. Yeah, that is great. So is this project is done, or is it like still work in progress, or?
It's in work in progress because we want to add some shading, you know, to the SDF, and to have maybe to more noise texture in 3D or something like that. So it will go on in February in like in Madrid, in the some places like some kind of circle of arts that is like in the Madrid.
Cool. That is very nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see like more like how it looks like when it's installed there. That would be really good if you like keep us updated or sending the links.
Yeah, sure.
That would be good.
Yeah. To record something. Yeah.
And how is your experience like after working with Fuse? Like especially using it not only in like rendering graphics, but like using it for volumetric light control. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. I mean, this super. I was really glad, you know, like because before when I now it's doing the thing, you know. When we work with tools or previewing, Fuse is sometimes very slow.
Mhm.
So you see when you have many charts, the patch drops, you know. So I used to have like many inputs, try different, and then make the workflow sometimes better, but a little slow. But the mixing of what I'm doing here, I'm just mixing for different geometries in real time, you know, like it's fucking amazing. It's like how you can get intersections and how you can get the geometry. I think it's very innovative and it's going to be better for sure, you know.
Nice, great.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just I think one more thing to just make it clear for myself is basically these 20 bicycle, each of them, they have the one instance of this application, or like 20 computers, or it's like one computer.
Yeah, no, it was just one application, not this one. This is an extension. The other application works with HTTP, but was working in one instance, you know, just receiving JSON over the world. You know? And filtering with we starting to try with JSON paths. Wasn't working at all. At last we work with regular expressions all, and it was working pretty well. Very fast, and yeah, it was very nice experience.
Nice, great, cool. Thank you very much for sharing this. Looking very much forward to see.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the beginning and the connection, you know. So hopefully somebody saw something that was.
No, yeah, just maybe make sure that you will send us the link to the Vimeo maybe on the comments, and sorry. Yeah. Sorry?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. That would be great. Yeah, and in the meantime, Toby K, hi, hello, welcome. And yeah, the others are also asking if you want to maybe just sharing the video, that would be also good. And connection is not good, but the project is good. And yeah, fantastic. That was a comment. Yeah, okay, that's good. At least that we know you're doing good things. That is for sure. And thank you for sharing that. Looking forward to see more projects, and great. If there is any question from the internet, as Jorek would put it, from the others. So I guess I would take it as a no.
Yeah, I guess it was really a bit hard to follow, but the idea of a volumetric rendering with SDF and then sampling that kind of to draw the LEDs, to control the LEDs. The idea is clear, but it was a bit hard to follow the details.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we had a few other people that they wanted to show things, or they are preparing, or they are working on the projects. It's pretty much understandable that is January. Things are a little bit like delayed, or things are a little bit not in place or not proper. We were supposed to have a longer list. I mean, not as if we curated, but what we heard that there were many other people that they wanted to present, but for various reasons they couldn't make it in time, or they had to do something in parallel. And I guess the next meetup is going to be a very crowded one, because what I have on my side, I know that there are a lot of projects are being documented, or it's getting prepared to be shown and to be showcased. We are looking very much forward to that. And Jorek, what is in the agenda? If there are any news regarding new releases, anything life-changing, game changer, anything coming up? I mean, of course. But what is the next big thing?
Oh, that's what a big loaded question. No, I guess at the moment, if people would start testing and reporting issues with the VL audio pack that we just released and are still in preview, but that's what we are currently working on to get that out in a stable version. So we're hoping for some feedback, and we will be updating that now. And yeah, just to make it stable. That's the next drop that's supposed to happen now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, yeah, as Johannes is pointing out, there's a lot of UI discussions going on in the forums. Yeah, one thing that you might notice is that the Node browser has a slightly different face, which yeah, we hear from that on the forum and also on the Element chat. But I would say in that regard, is stay connected. What I can say from like what I see or what I hear or what the rumors say from here and there, they're gonna be some educational material, like in formats of the, I mean, not official ones. I'm just saying that not from the developers or from whoever serves you the vvvv, but from the other sources around, from the users, basically. They're gonna be some more educational material, like maybe some tutorials, some how-to, some videos, basically, of not only how to use, I don't know, like how to be a programmer, but how to be a programmer with Gamma, basically, or like answering some simple question. There was something that Suna mentioned that in the chat today, that he had a lot of forum posts about some questions that they are not very clear, particularly from those that they come from the beta side of things. I think that series is going to tackle those very questions. So if you don't know where and how this kind of material is going to be out there, to be online, to be shared with everyone, maybe it's coming from your side. So it's totally fine if you want to take a first hand on it, but stay tuned, stay connected, and maybe just report things that you might want to see, things that you might want to have them more clear. And as always, it's very recommended to go through the Grey Book. That's a very nice read, and it's been developed, and there are new material on there. I would say if there is no participant who is willing to show something for today, we could wrap it up. That was a pretty quick reach. Thank you, Bada Boom. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Alvaro. They're great projects. Please do not forget to drop the links into the comments on the YouTube, or before the call is over on the Zoom chat, so I can take care of that. And any last words from your side, Jorek?
Thanks, Amir, for keeping the spirit, for running this, and I hope to see everyone next time.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. If you're still watching us, thank you everybody who's watching us on the YouTube. The Node Institute for lending us the infrastructure. I love this sentence. I stole it from Randall. Randall, if you're watching us, I say hi. And Alvaro, thank you again for joining and sharing. Please keep up with the good work. Looking forward to see you guys next month, the 7th vvvv meetup. We will announce the time. It's going to be the last Tuesday of the month, as we have it usual, but then of course you will get the announcement prior to that. I wish you a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Ciao.
Ciao.